I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, all ready with this week's weather report. And we are looking at an absolutely fabulous week ahead in the astro skies. I can't wait to share all about it with you. There's so much happening, especially following on from the recent conjunction of Jupiter with the Galactic Centre, which I talked about extensively in my video from last week. You can check that out on my YouTube channel, Kesenya More, if you would like to explore that, because its resonance will still be felt for the coming week ahead. In fact, for quite some time, actually, we'll be feeling the energy of our good karma and our rewards for good karma coming back to bless us. So do check that out on my YouTube channel and find out how that might be affecting you. But there's still plenty more good stuff coming up for us. And as you can see here, all the actions taking place sort of in Scorpio, Sagittarius and Capricorn at the moment. So we're going to be looking at how that is going to affect you a little later on. But before we get stuck into how it's going to play out for all signs, we want to look at the components of what's happening in the week ahead. And it's really great if you can, sit through or go for a walk with your headphones in and listen to this portion of my forecast, because it's going to give you a lot more insight regarding what I shared during the all signs pieces. So do tune in, and we're going to go through what's happening in the skies and therefore why things are unfolding the way they are in our lives. Very interesting. Before I get into those bits though, I do want to mention that we are heading into the final 2 weeks of Jupiter being in the sign of Sagittarius. So here is Jupiter sitting up here at the final few degrees of Sagittarius, and he's been there for almost a whole year now, and he's coming to the final 2 weeks, and then he's going to move into the sign of Capricorn, where he's going to spend roughly another 12 months or so. And we're going to notice Jupiter's blessings moving into this arena of our life. But because we're coming up to this final stage, I wanted to offer for the next 2 weeks my webinars that I have produced at $10 off. The reason I want to offer this is Jupiter is all about the expansion of the mind, higher knowledge, growth of wisdom and understanding. And so I want to offer my webinars, which are all about that sort of thing, I hope. I hope they'll expand your mind, and I hope they'll expand your knowledge of astrology. And I want to offer them for a special price just for the next 2 weeks to honor the conclusion of Jupiter, planet of wisdom, in the sign all about knowledge and higher learning and understanding. That's where Jupiter's been focusing his attention on for the last year, expanding our knowledge, expanding our understanding and our awareness. And so that's why I'm offering that discount at the moment. Now that will be applying to my Astrology of Many Marriages, Will I Marry Again webinar, as well as my Vedic Astrology Basics course that are available on my website, www.guidingstar.astrology.com. So do check that out if you're interested in learning more over the next couple of weeks with Jupiter in the final degrees here. But let's move on now and have a look at what is happening this week. Well, the first thing that we've got occurring this week in the skies is Mars moving into the sign of Scorpio, and this is actually happening on the 20th, which is usually the day on a Wednesday that I upload this video. So it'll probably be happening, all things being as they should be, it'll be happening today if you're watching this as soon as it's loaded. So Mars is moving into the sign of Scorpio, which is a sign that it rules in ancient astrology. It rules the sign of Scorpio. It's going to be there until the 4th of January, actually. So he's got a little bit of a sojourn to do through Scorpio. So Mars is all about action and initiation and energy and enthusiasm and drive and vigor. And here in the sign of Scorpio, I mean, it's going to mean different things and outplayings for different people depending on where the sign of Scorpio falls in your chart. But in general for us all, while Mars is here for the next couple of months, he's going to be causing our actions, because Mars is the planet of action and energy, to be now more patient actually. Not reckless in the sign of Scorpio. He's comfortable, he's in his rulership, but Scorpio is not reckless. Scorpio is calculated. Scorpio is strategic. So our actions are going to now take on the tone in a very healthy way, because Mars is healthy in Scorpio, of being more patient, less reckless, as Mars can sometimes be quite reckless in some signs. We're going to have more intuitive action now, so trust your gut instinct about the steps you need to take to do something, or if you need to go somewhere or exercise you need to undertake, listen to your intuition about your actions and your activities, because it won't steer you wrong while it's in Scorpio. Our actions are also going to be more strategic. Now, not necessarily moral. Scorpio is not a moral sign. If you look here, Scorpio is the 12th house from the sign of morality. The sign of morality is Sagittarius, and Scorpio is 12 houses from Sagittarius. 12th house is the end of, the loss of. So in this case, 12 houses from the house of morality, loss of morality. I'm not saying all Scorpios are out to get you and be immoral, but that is one of the tones of this particular sojourn of Mars through Scorpio. So, we will be now more strategic about what we do and the actions and the endeavors we undertake. Mars is entrepreneurial, so our entrepreneurial endeavors will be more strategic, perhaps not quite moral though. So if you want to achieve good rewards in life and good karma, which is what we talked about last week, then I'd encourage you to, think twice about your actions now for the next month, to ensure that they are moral and they will bring you good karmic reward in the long term. We're going to be able to recognize danger. Now, Scorpio is a highly intuitive sign. Mars represents danger, and we're going to know and sense and feel danger. So if you get a gut instinct about someone or someplace, if you're out, out on the town and you decide you're going to walk home a particular way, but suddenly, your tummy turns in knots, listen to that. Because for the next couple of months while Mars is in Scorpio, we're going to be very intuitive about dangerous situations. So trust it. Trust your instincts. And the best piece, just checking my notes there, the best thing about this particular sojourn through Scorpio is that lovemaking can last longer now. And that's because in some signs, Mars, the planet of desire, and correlating to the masculine sexual energy of let's just get it on, none of this foreplay stuff, let's just get into it. Mars is that energy. In some signs, Mars is very wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But here in Scorpio, it's slow and intentional, strategic maybe as well. Maybe not quite very moral. That could be fun. But there is much more longevity to our lovemaking while Mars is in the sign of Scorpio. So if you're fortunate enough to be in a position to enjoy that, then you're a lucky person. Have fun. So that's one of the things that we're seeing with Mars in Scorpio. It's going to be quite an interesting couple of months, especially during party season, at least here in Australia, as we come up to Christmas, etc. The next thing that's unfolding is that Mercury is going direct. And this is happening on the 21st of November that this is occurring. But Mercury is going to remain in shadow until the 28th of November. And by that I mean Mercury will be moving. Here's Mercury here in the sign of Scorpio. He's going to turn. He's been going apparently to our eyes. It has looked like he's going backwards in the sky. But then on the 21st, he will start to change direction and go forward again. The thing is, he's going to be recovering his old steps, retracing his steps where he's already been in retrograde motion, and he'll step out of those retraced steps and into fresh territory around the 28th of November. That's when that will occur. But just the same, from the 21st of November, you can breathe easy now. Go sign those contracts. Go buy that new computer. Go get your car fixed or whatever. Now's the time that you can actually do those sorts of things that we try to avoid doing in Mercury retrograde. So submit those papers, start new ventures after the 21st of November, and you'll be doing fine. So the next piece, there's two big pieces that I want to talk about now. And they very much combine in the energy they're going to give us. And this is the exciting piece of what I wanted to talk about this week. It's actually the reason why I'm wearing these whopping big earrings. I put on the biggest earrings I could find today because I wanted to channel this energy of what I'm going to talk about, which is this lovely conjunction this week of Venus and Jupiter. And if you can see well on my little board here, the planets look quite similar because they are actually in fact in astrology they are similar. Jupiter is the great benefic, his abundance, his wealth, his prosperity. Venus is the minor benefic. She is the money we earn and how we spend it and our pleasure and joy. So they have a lot of similarities, Venus and Jupiter, one to a lesser manifestation capacity and the other to a great manifestation capacity. So when they combine, of course, it's going to be wonderful. Now, these are, and I should point out why there's a correlation to my earrings. Venus rules earrings, Jupiter rules big, anything that's big. So that's why I'm wearing big earrings. But these two are meeting at 28 degrees, which is the degree of Cancer in the sign of Sagittarius. So what are this is happening on the 25th of November as well. What does it stand to bring us all? What kind of things will we be looking for as a result of this beautiful union? It happens roughly once a year. Some people call it the most romantic day of the year. Some people call it a lucky day of the year. But it is a combination of two very beautiful energies in our lives. This year it's occurring in Sagittarius. Last year it occurred in Scorpio. Next year it will occur in Capricorn and so on. So it's a once in 12-year opportunity for this to take place in the sign of Sagittarius, which will be a certain realm of your chart. And that's what I'm going to talk about when I go through all signs. But what will these few days around the 25th of November bring us when this union for this year and for the next 12 years actually takes place in the sign of Sagittarius? Well, it's going to bring us, because it's at the degree of Cancer, it's going to bring us a sense of being abundantly nurtured by the universe. Jupiter is abundance. Venus is to be blessed financially and pleasure and joy and indulgences and things. And here at the degree of Cancer, which is all about the nurturance that we receive, the support we receive to go forward in life. Cancer, just quickly, Cancer is an energy that helps us grow to our maturity. That's what true nurturance is. It's taking us in our youth, in our infancy, in our childishness, and growing us to fullness. That's what Cancer loves to do. And so this energy of Jupiter conjunct Venus is going to help nurture us. It's gifts from the universe that will be nurturing to us in our journey and for the foreseeable future, maybe for the next 12 years until these two meet again in Sagittarius. Wouldn't that be nice? 12 years of abundant nurturing from the universe if we're lucky. So what else can we expect around this time? Well, we can expect less conflict because these two great benefic planets are going to bring a feeling of harmony and stabilization. Venus is harmony, Jupiter is expansion of whatever Venus represents in this case. So a growth in harmony. So less conflict with others. Yay, bring it on. We'll be feeling more generous. These planets are quite generous and harmonious and giving. So there's going to be a growth in that around this time. You might feel more optimistic and generous yourself. You might want to give to others, whereas, sometimes you might be sort of counting the pennies in your pocket. And around this time, the 25th of November, you're going to be able to give more generously or feel capable of giving more generously. You'll be drawn to and hanging out with, hopefully, more agreeable people. Because Jupiter is to be optimistic. Jupiter is our joy. Jupiter is where we feel happy, and Venus also correlates to the energy of happiness as well. So we can expect that we will be around happy people. We will be feeling more happy and optimistic ourselves. So people are going to be generally in that headspace a little more than usual, and we're going to enjoy being in their company more because of that. Also beautiful situations. Venus is aesthetics. Jupiter will expand the beautiful aesthetics represented by Venus. So you might find that you end up in a part of town that's absolutely exquisite, or you get to go to a park, or you hang out in a really luxury coffee shop, like go you. That could be where you find yourself on this day when Venus and Jupiter meet in the sky. So even if you come from a part of town that's a bit scraggly or looking a bit rough around the edges, not very nice, it is a great day when you might find yourself in the local park or down in some prestigious shopping centre, or for some reason or another you might find that you're in a beautiful concert hall or somewhere that's really beautiful. Your surroundings on this day, or in the couple of days preceding or following, you might find that your surroundings are more beautiful and you can luxuriate in the aesthetic beauty of life. The main theme, though, of this particular conjunction, and being so close to the Galactic Centre, which I talked about in my last week's video, the main outpouring of energy that's coming from this union at the Galactic Centre is that we're going to find an easier manifestation of the things represented by Jupiter and by Venus. So this is windfalls, abundance, good luck, good fortune, favor, blessings. These sorts of things are now going to manifest a lot easier for us with this energy. So hooray to that. I don't know anyone who'd be watching this video who doesn't want that to pop up in their lives. It's also a good omen, these two uniting in the sky, for our social life to improve and flourish at this time. Our love life can be very, very blessed because Venus is love and Jupiter is to expand things. So there's this growth and flourishing of our love life. In Vedic astrology, Jupiter represents the husband in a woman's chart, and Venus represents the wife, or the women we'll be attracted to if we are a man. And so the combination of these two can be very beautiful for any dating relationships or any even marriages. Venus rules marriage. So there is this beautiful union of this energy that is floating in the ether on this day, which will be lovely. And this is why this day is known as one of the most romantic days of the year. So if you happen to be dating someone, or if you're in a relationship of some sort, schedule a date. Go and make the most of this energy. Lap it up. And don't forget, you've got old Mars here in Scorpio giving you the rompy-pompy for, a long period of time. So milk it for all it's worth, guys. Book into a restaurant. Go out and enjoy a date with your partner. Make it really special. Make it really beautiful. Organize a picnic or go out in nature together. Venus is connected to nature. Go for a picnic in nature, or go bushwalking, or do something really special and romantic and lovely with your partner at this time. And the energy is going to be invigorating and uplifting and beneficial. So, don't sit at home moping. Make an opportunity. And even if you are single, make an opportunity to do something romantic and indulgent for yourself. Venus is indulgence. It's laziness, it's pleasure, it's joy, it's la-di-da. And Jupiter will be expanding those things. So if you haven't got a partner to go out and enjoy some romance with, create your own delight. Create your own joy. Now that could look like anything that you find pleasurable and enjoyable. It might mean you go and get your fingernails done or something. It might mean lazing on the couch with a good book all afternoon and eating chocolate. Take the opportunity while this planetary union is occurring to really feed into that beautiful energy of luxury and pleasure and delight and joy and indulgence. We need to honor the energies as they unfold, and sometimes we're required to be cautious. Sometimes we are required to be careful. Sometimes we're required to do therapy in order to deal with the energies as they unfold. But this day, this is when you're required, if you want to underline that word, I am required to go and have pleasure and joy and beauty in my life. So make the space for that in whatever way you can and really play into this energy. So some of the things in general that a combination like this can bring, and I'm just going to list a few of the potentials with this particular combo. Venus rules reconciliation and Jupiter rules courts. It could be a time next week when there is some sort of reconciliation that's reached in a court case because of these two combining. It could mean, Venus rules forgiveness and Jupiter rules restoration. So you could be in a situation where forgiveness and restoration occur in some sort of squabble with some family person or a friendship or, between a teacher and a student or wherever it might play out. But forgiveness and restoration can occur because of Jupiter and Venus combining. Jupiter rules good fortune, and this can be expressed next week through Venusian things. Good fortune might come to you through gifts of gratitude, because Venus rules gratitude and Venus rules gifts. So you might find good fortune comes your way in the form of gifts of gratitude from someone you've been kind to. Very much the nature of Jupiter-Venus conjunction. Jupiter is happiness. Venus is to be lazy and enjoy leisure. As I said, there will be the combination of these two can bring happiness from being lazy and indulgent and enjoying pleasure. That's another manifestation of this energy. Jupiter is to receive some form of advantage in life, some sort of benefit, some sort of opportunity. And Venus rules architects. Maybe you might receive some sort of form of advantage from an architect. The scenario could quite simply be that you're talking about getting a house built, you've met with a few architects, and one of them comes back to you with a quote that just beats the band, and you're like, here's some advantage from this particular architect that we've been speaking with. Or because you've hired a certain architect, he can see a solution to a problem that no one else has seen. And, these sorts of opportunities for, say, advantage, Jupiter is advantage, from an architect ruled by Venus. So as you can see, depending on what the planets rule, there can be a million ways these things can play out. I mean, you could say you could get forgiveness from an architect or gratitude from an architect. Like the combinations of these planetary energies are endless. I'm just giving you a few examples based on what these planets rule. It is so exciting when you know astrology to see how it works and how it is playing out. It's fascinating. Some other things. Believe it or not, Jupiter rules the black sheep of the family. I find this exciting. I have Jupiter in my first house of Pisces, and therefore the fact that I'm a bit of the black sheep of the family is part of my life journey to be that way. Thank you, Jupiter. That's one thing that Jupiter rules, and of course Venus rules forgiveness. Perhaps the black sheep in your family will be forgiven and welcomed back into the fold when this combination occurs. Jupiter is the black sheep and Venus is forgiveness, and Venus is also reconciliation. So reconciliation with the black sheep of the family, that can also occur. Venus is females. And so Jupiter also rules patrons and philanthropists. When these two combine, you might find that female patrons come into your life. Female philanthropists support you in some way at the conjunction of this energy. Venus rules costumes. Jupiter rules customs. You might find that around this time, 25th of November, you get the opportunity to enjoy dressing up in some custom, some costume rather, from your country of origin, and participating in some cultural celebration. Jupiter, Venus combined, dressing up, wearing costumes, and doing some sort of cultural celebration at this time. So they're just a few examples of how this energy can work. It's really quite fascinating once you start looking at different combinations and the potentials that are there. When I step through all signs in a minute, I'm going to, instead of saying this will happen, that will happen, I'm going to give you a few ways, like specific dot points if you like. You might like to note them down if you're interested. Some dot points for where blessing can come from for you over the coming week. But before we get there, I wanted to talk about the new moon that's occurring in Sagittarius as well. Boom. Not only have we got this lovely conjunction right near the Galactic Centre, this is such a special week in astrology, but we have the new moon conjunct Sun on the 26th. So this is happening the day after this conjunction. We've got another conjunction at the beginning of Sagittarius, at 3 degrees of Sagittarius. The Sun and the moon creating a new moon. The moon will go invisible for a couple of days, and then she'll reappear like the fingernail moon, that little sliver of a moon in the sky. But the new moon is occurring on the 26th, and this is a time when we say we make our intentions. We set our intentions and we make our plans for the 2 weeks ahead, because the moon's a very manifesting planet. And what we start now in the birth of the moon, at the period where the moon is gestating in the sun and about to be birthed out the other side, that is considered to be a great time for establishing some sort of intentions towards manifestation over the ensuing 2 weeks. But in the sign of Sagittarius, it can be very, very lucky. Sagittarius is a lucky sign. It's ruled by Jupiter, the great benefic, the planet of luck and good fortune. So here, the new moon in Sagittarius can be very lucky. And this mixes into this glorious energy this week. It's really setting us up this week for good things to enter our lives. And I'm really grateful for this. I offer my gratitude to the universe because what's coming up in January is going to be very, very interesting. All the planets conglomerating in the sign of Capricorn. It's going to play out in very interesting and perhaps a little bit unusual ways. And this, I feel, is setting us up in a good space now, ready for what's coming up next year. So enjoy this. Create a sense of peace and abundance and optimism in your life, and it will see you through in good stead into the new year. So I want to encourage you, during this new moon in the sign of Sagittarius, use this time to practice gratitude, to really look at all that you have. You might have much, but you've probably got more than a lot of other people in the world. Especially if we consider on a global scale, we realize if we're watching this video, far out, we're blessed. We've got an iPad, or we've got a smartphone, or we've got a computer, and we can watch this video. The majority of the world cannot do that because they don't have those resources. We are blessed. So we need to, at this time, look at our blessings, count our blessings. It's a very Sagittarian thing to do. Yes, it's lucky. Yes, it's fortunate. But it's also an area of the chart where we can focus our gratitude and be thankful, practice thankfulness. So at this time of the new moon, instead of maybe this time writing down, I intend to do this, I want to win Tats Lotto, I'm going to have, become the next CEO, whatever your particular intentions are, perhaps write down what you're grateful for at this time and set up an attitude of thankfulness in your heart at this time. So write down your blessings, or even you could start an Instagram page that, you take a photo every day of something you're grateful for. Here's my cup of coffee. I'm so lucky to be able to have a bought cup of coffee every morning. Boom, picture of my coffee goes on my Instagram page, my gratitude for this day. Next day, it's rained and you really needed rain on your garden, and there's a picture of your gumboots sitting in a puddle, and that's what you pop on your next day on your Instagram page that you're grateful for. Little gratitude things, and by establishing a list or starting an Instagram gratitude, get the word out, an Instagram gratitude page, you will be reminded to keep looking for the things to be grateful for, and it develops a habit. At this new moon time, we are establishing something new, beginning something new. What a great thing to establish a new habit of gratitude and thankfulness when the moon is in the new moon is in Sagittarius. So I'd encourage you to do that. It's great to receive blessings. It really, really is. We all look for blessings and we long for blessings in our life, but it's very important to honor and to instill gratefulness in our heart as well. It's popping it, especially the moon rules our mind. So we're putting these things in our mind, this gratitude. We're creating that energy of gratitude that gets instilled in our mind. And especially coming after the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus, where blessing can flow in. It's a really good time to establish this. So this new moon, it's actually a culmination of this week of blessing. And whatever you direct your attention to during this week, but particularly at the time of the new moon, now has the potential to embed itself very deeply into your neural pathways. Remember, the moon rules the mind. So what you establish now, gratitude's a great thing and thankfulness is a great thing to establish, will embed itself in your neural pathways into the month ahead as the moon does its circuit of the horoscope. So direct your attention to these beautiful Jupiterian things we've talked about. Optimism, gratefulness, joy, abundance, forgiveness, reconciliation. Even a sense of adventure in the sign of Sagittarius is a great thing to direct your attention to. Having faith, having trust, all these things, faith and trust and adventure, are seen by the sign of Sagittarius. Joy, fun. So direct your attention to these beautiful things and being grateful for these beautiful things, and you will establish new neural pathways that will set you up with an optimistic, buoyant attitude, very Jupiterian, that will see you through into the new year and start things off on a beautiful foot. It's going to make you more optimistic, And it's also going to, because you're more buoyant, attract more buoyancy into your life. And we all want that. So by being more buoyant, we appear, like when we're friendly, when we're happy, when we smile, then we draw more happy people to us. When we're down and grumpy and saggy baggy, you know, nobody wants to come talk to us at the coffee shop. But if we're effervescent, people want to be in our energy. They want to draw from our energy. So by channeling this now, we're going to actually surround ourselves. Eventually, it's going to bring the blessing to us and surround that in our lives based on the inner change that we've started within us. So now I want to look at all the signs and how we can manifest, or where we're going to see the manifestation, the easy manifestation of blessings as a result of this week. Now, in my video last week, I went through all the signs, and again, we were focused on the energy of Sagittarius. So there will be similarities, but today I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to kind of do dot points. It's going to be quick, I hope. I'm going to do dot points listing where you can be looking for the blessings to pop up in your life, where you can be looking for opportunities to come your way, for abundance to manifest, for places to look for, to direct your gratitude, essentially. And you may find things to be grateful for in these areas that I'm going to list. So we'll start with Aries. As usual, Aries. I should mix it up more, shouldn't I? Lucky Aries, they always go first. But here we are, Aries. Well, it's putting the sign of Sagittarius as the 9th house, and this is where this energy of great blessing and luck is falling. And so you might receive easy manifestation of blessings through things like long-range advertising, which is seen from the 9th house. You might receive some easy manifestation of blessing through some church activity, or going to the local stupa, or attending an ashram, these kinds of religious places, or places of faith and places of belief. You can receive easy manifestation of blessing through that. It might be that you go and sit at the stupa for the afternoon and you just get an energy hit that just makes you very Jupiterian, very optimistic, very buoyant, very hopeful and trusting, that sets you up for the next few months of being in that great energetic space. So that's where you can receive easy manifestation of blessing. You can also receive easy manifestation of blessing that comes through commerce, through courts of law, like the decisions of judges can bring you some sort of easy manifestation of blessing. This is also the 11th house from the 11th house, and therefore it correlates to friends of your friends. So it might be through friends of your friends that you receive some sort of blessing of some sort, like maybe a tip about a great place to go visit, or a good investment to make, or something, or some sort of commerce activity that you can get involved in, that comes through a friend of a friend. And that's where the blessing, the easy manifestation of blessing, might come through. You might get an easy manifestation of blessing in your life through philanthropists. This is a house of philanthropists and philanthropy. If you are in a position to be a philanthropist, this can be a blessing. You might be blessed through giving, because as the prayer of St. Francis says, it is in giving that we receive. So we can incorporate this by being a philanthropist. We will be blessed. So if you're Aries rising, this is an area you can focus on this coming week. Also, traveling can bring you an easy manifestation of blessing. It's through traveling that you might experience expansion, inner growth, growth of wisdom and a worldview that expands. And it's through traveling that you might find this manifestation of blessing arises. And that could happen in many realms. Let's say you travel, go for a trip on a Kon-Tiki tour or something, and meet the love of your life. Or you, through traveling, you hook up with you meet somebody in Florence, and they're actually really into some sort of business activity that you're really into, and boom, you've got a business partner, and you collaborate, and away you go, and your life is changed forever. So it's through traveling, as well, if you're Aries rising, that you can actually receive an easy manifestation of blessing. All right, if you are Taurus rising, where can you have an easy manifestation of blessing? Well, it's in 8th house realms, because here is Sagittarius as the 8th house this week. well, for Taurus rising people all the time, not just this week, but that's where all the energy is focused quite strongly this week. So it's through networking and communicating with people who are in sort of a lower social status than you. So this could be maybe networking with your students, or networking with your employees, or doing some sort of connecting and communicating with people who are not well, people who are sick. You go out and you connect with people at a hospital, and people who are unhealthy or not as well educated as you or poorer than you. So it's through connecting and communicating with these people that you may actually receive some sort of blessing in some way for Taurus people. And that is because the 8th house is the 3rd house from the 6th. The 3 houses represents communication, networking, interacting, socializing. And so for Taurus people, you can be blessed through interacting and socializing with people who are not as advantaged as you are. Now, also for Taurian people, you can create friendships with bosses, and this can bring you a lot of easy manifestation. Easy manifestation and abundance through making friendships and and socializing and hanging out with bosses. This is the 11th house from the 10th house. The 10th house is bosses and authority figures, and here in the 8th house, it represents creating friendships with these people, bosses and authority figures and father figures. If you do that, you can manifest a great deal of blessing now. Now, you can also have, if you're Taurus rising, a lot of big transformation this week, and blessing that comes to you from some sort of big transformative experience. That could be the death of a relative, or it could be through a divorce, some sort of crisis situation, or it could be in Australia, people who've lived through the fires. Now, it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it, to say that through these crisis situations we can receive blessing. Maybe it is. Maybe you get an insurance payout and your house has been falling to pieces and it's been burnt to the ground, which is horrible and tragic, and my heart goes out to all the people who are suffering with that at the moment. But you get an insurance payout that's second to none, and you're like, right, finally I can build that lovely home that we needed, because everything was falling down around our ears. It sounds a bit odd, and it's hard to sort of, I guess it's hard to speak of these sorts of things, how crisis situations can ultimately bring blessing into our life, especially when we're going through them at this point in time. It's not easy, it's not nice, it's not comfortable to speak of these things, and we know Taurus loves things to be comfortable if possible. But life often does work that way. We go into the underworld, we go into the darkness, and out of it we emerge reborn into the springtime. And Taurus people this week, more than any other sign, you guys stand to move out of the shadow, out of the underworld, out of the darkness this week, more than any other sign, and into the sunshine, the blossom time, the springtime, the life. I'm really excited for you, Taurus rising people. I mean, we've been through this year. It's been a roller coaster year, 2019. A lot of upheaval for many, many people. And it's almost, we got to a point about a month ago when we were all like, when is this going to end? I'm exhausted by this. I've had enough. And you Taurians are about to experience blessing and luck and re-emergence, regeneration through this wonderful week ahead. The new moon in your 8th house and the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in your 8th house. So for you guys, there is great potential for blessing, and blessing that's really noticeable. This is not sort of like, oh, my neighbor bought me a chocolate cake, thank you very much, I'm so blessed kind of thing. We're talking the big changes here, the leaving behind the underworld experience, the darkness, the heaviness, the depression, the sadness, and moving into the regeneration, the blossom time. So that's where you guys are going to see a big manifestation of change and blessing that can really alter the course of your life. Now, if you happen to be Gemini rising, well, this time we are looking at Sagittarius being your 7th house. And so when we have the 7th house being activated in this way? Well, it's indicating easy manifestation of blessings that's going to come through the usual seventh house suspects, like business partners, marriage partners. They're the two key ones. But you can also, if you're Gemini rising, the potential is here this week to receive money from aunts and uncles. And this is particularly for aunts and uncles from, now, and let me get this right, because sometimes I get a bit back the front, from the mother's side of the family, if you're a man. So if you're a man and watching this forecast and you're Gemini rising, the potential is here for you to receive money from your aunts and uncles on your mother's side. Or if you're a woman and you're Gemini rising, watching this forecast, the potential is here for you to receive money from your aunts and uncles on the father's side of the family. So that's another thing that we see through the seventh house. And with a week of easy manifestation of blessings, that might come. You could even approach your aunts and uncles and ask them for, in the appropriate context I've just mentioned, and ask them to back you in a business venture at this time. They might support you. They might put up the funds or go guarantor or something like that. Wait till Mercury's out of retrograde and do that. Your second child can also be a source of easy manifestation of blessing for you this week. And of course, that can happen in a million different ways. You know, your child might, buy you a house, or your second child might, make you really proud doing some sort of winning an art competition or something. Like, it can happen in a bazillion different ways, and probably highly dependent on the life situation of your second child. But it's through the second child, and of course you'd need to look at your chart to see the quality of relationship with the second child, etc. But it is through the second child that you can receive some sort of easy blessing that comes to you this week. Your customers can also bring blessings. So if you have a lot of clients and you're doing a lot of transactions with other people in some way, then they can bless you. They might send you a lovely parcel in the mail to say thank you for the beautiful astrology reading that you've done for me. Or I used to work at a doctor's surgery many years ago, and frequently around this time of year, actually, a lot of the clients of the doctors that I worked for would come in with bunches of roses out of their garden to say thank you for the services of the doctor, the GP that I worked for. So your customers can give you an easy manifestation of blessing and good reasons for gratitude at this time. Also, if you are a Gemini rising, you will also, you can receive easy manifestation of blessing as a result of your labor. So this is the house of labor here, the sixth house, and this is the results of our labor, seen by the seventh house in this case, and the results of your labor can bring you blessing. And also litigation can also in some way can also bring you an easy manifestation of blessing. So it might be that you win a court case, or you are able to, you find out you're able to take action over a particular injustice and rebalance the situation. This is a house of balance and harmony. So through doing that, you might receive an easy manifestation of, a payout, or rebalancing can be considered to be a blessing when something's out of whack and unjust. There's lots of injustice. You can put it back into, rightness, and that can actually be considered to be a blessing. We're not always looking for money or financial material gains as blessing. Sometimes the blessing is more creation of equality in the world, more recognition, or rebalancing of a reputation. These sorts of things can be blessings as well. So look for more than just financial and material things when we're looking for blessings. Okay, moving on from Gemini. If you are Cancer rising and Cancer sun and Cancer moon, I need to point that out a bit more often than I do. You can consider all three. The rising sign will be the most impactful though, but if you're really, keen on it, yes, you can consider this your sun sign and look at that as well. So if you're Cancer, pardon me, this energy is going to be falling down here in your sixth house. And so all your luck and your the optimism and prosperity and growth, etc., all the things we talked about in the intro, they're coming to you through sixth house means. So this can mean that you receive some sort of easy manifestation of blessing through animals. Maybe you've got a lassie dog and somehow it saves you from the train or something like that. Your animals can be a source of blessing for you this week. Maybe you're showing your French poodle in some competition and it wins, you know. So it's through your animals. That's one source of blessing that can come to you. Now, also, this is the house of the common people. So if you're Cancer rising, it's through common people that you might receive some easy manifestation of blessing. Just some ordinary person on the street, you know, some random stranger, somebody who's, you know, your maybe even like lower class than you perhaps, or lower educated, or not as healthy as you or something, and they can bring blessing into your life in some way, some easy manifestation of, you know, a gift from the universe, maybe some grain of wisdom that they give you, maybe some advice that helps you live a healthier, more well-rounded life. These sorts of things from the 6th house if you're Cancer rising. Now, the profession of your brothers and sisters-in-law is seen from the 6th house. So it's through the profession of your brother or sister-in-law that you can receive an easy manifestation of blessing as well. Maybe you're looking for a job. And if that's the case, next week's a great week to approach your brother or sister-in-law and say, hey, is there any work going at, you know, your law firm? Or is there any work going at the hospital where you work? And it's through brothers and sisters-in-law next week that you can manifest some sort of easy blessing. So that could actually, you know, if you're looking for work, that might be a strategy you could employ and put the universe to the test a little and see, hey, how can I manifest this energy in the best possible way for my circumstances in life? Fire departments, they're quite prominent in the news in Australia at the moment. Fire departments can be an easy source of blessing to people. Now, most Australian fire departments are feeling quite exhausted right now, but fire departments are seen from the 6th house. So, you know, if you're in a fire department, you know, you can receive some sort of, and you're Cancer rising, you can receive some kind of blessing from the department. Maybe the government decides to give your fire department a ton of money to purchase new equipment, and you're like, yeah, thanks, about time. So there can be an easy manifestation of blessing for some sort of fire department or search and rescue operation or police department or something that receives some benefit from the universe, some gift, some easy manifestation of blessing from the universe can come now. The tenants, if you have housing, the tenants of your property are seen from the 6th house, and so you might receive some sort of blessing from the tenants in your properties. Maybe they decide to, you know, renovate your house, or set up a garden, or paint the wall or something, and it looks fantastic, and you're like, wow, some source of blessing from your tenants. Also, this is the house of ceremonial magic. If you're into ceremonial magic, this is the week where that's going to really bring blessing into your life. And I will point out, just last week in my video that I did talk about a ceremony that I offer for people who require protection from bullies and enemies. This is the house of bullies and enemies actually as well. So it's this week, pardon me, when we've got all this lovely energy playing out in the 6th house for you Cancer rising people. If you would like to utilize my ceremony of protection, shamanic ceremony of protection against bullies and vampire energy vampires, I'm happy to send that to you. If you contact me via email, I can do that for you, and you might benefit from undertaking that ceremonial magic this week. All right, if you happen to be, whoopsies, Leo rising, well, I've got a few dot points for you. Leo rising sees the Sagittarian energy playing out this week of luck and blessing and prosperity falling in their 5th house of good fortune. 5th house is connected to fortune. And this is great. You guys have it going on this week. How might it play out for you though? How might you see this unfolding in your life? Well, you are going to receive easy manifestation of blessing from the universe through your children. So last week I gave an illustration of, you know, your child making you proud or that sort of circumstance. That can still be the case this week. But it can also be that maybe your children bring some sort of blessing of a really tangible nature into your life. We've got the 2 planets of material prosperity here. Jupiter, the great benefic, Venus, the minor benefic, and they're all about wealth and money, and they're combining in your 5th house with the new moon. It is possible that, through your children, maybe they'll give you a gift of support. If you've got older children, it might be money, or if you've got younger children, maybe they land a job at McDonald's or something like that, and you no longer have to pay for their Xbox subscription or something. Can be these kinds of blessings materially that now come from your children. Also, your artistic endeavors can manifest easy blessing from the universe for you now. So you might win an art competition, or you might get given the lead role in a play that you've been longing to be a part of or something. Performance is another area where you can receive some sort of blessing. Maybe if you're like a singer, and you get it's next week that you might get the notification that, hey, we want you to sing at this big festival that we're putting on in Nashville or something. And so, you get the opportunity of a lifetime, because this energy brings you luck and good fortune and blessing if you're a singer or a performer. Also, you can receive easy manifestation from the universe through casinos, through gambling, and any speculative affairs, actually. So you need to check your particular chart and check out, where all the planets fall in your chart, because not everybody's going to win at the casino. You have to have certain, configurations and planets in certain areas and so on and so on. But if you're one of those lucky people, then next week's the week. Get on down to Vegas, you can, or the Gold Coast if you're in Australia. Go and indulge in that if you know your chart and know that you've got what it takes, because it can be very lucky. You can be very blessed and have easy manifestation from the universe in the dating realm as well. If you're looking at dating people, if you're online looking for a partner, that sort of thing, or if you are in a relationship and you have a lover, and you can be really blessed this week as well, with a lot of easy manifestation of love between you and joy between you. So it's a great week for going on dates, finding a new love, falling in love, and establishing more rapport with your current lover if you happen to be Leo rising, sun, or moon. More joy. You will get a lot more blessing out of this week by tapping into your sources of joy. Now, for some, their sources of joy might be reading a book. That could be your source of joy. That's what might be what you absolutely love to do. It might be pottering in the garden. It might be going to the coffee shop. And, by taking time to get into your joy, your place of joy, that is where you're going to see beautiful manifestations arise from the universe. It might be more peace. It might be more epiphanies. It might be more happiness that comes to you. Or it could actually even be some kind of material, tangible blessing that comes into your life through indulging in your joy as well. Indulging in your hobbies can bring you an easy manifestation of blessing from the universe. So again, take the time out. Most of our hobbies are what brings us joy. So take the time out to do that. Spend time investing in your lovers or your lover. Hopefully you've got one. Or if you have more than one, lovers. But spend time investing in them, and this is a house of sex. Go for it, guys. We all got Mars down here, like I said in the intro, doing some great sexual stuff for us this week for the next month or two. Plus, you guys have the house of sex being activated with luck and blessing and abundance and expansion. So go for it. Create that sexual energy in your home that's delightful, Nibble on your lover's ear in the morning as he's getting breakfast for you or something, and do those little things all day long that lead to a big at night time when you get back together after being at work or whatever. So indulge in those little things, and the blessing is there waiting for you this week in a powerful way. So enjoy that. That's where these are the realms that blessing can flow this week for you. Now, if you happen to be Virgo, well, this energy for you Virgo rising people, and Virgo sun and Virgo moon, if you want to include those. They're not as strong as the rising sign, but you can include them if you want to. This energy is actually falling in your, in your fourth house. So fourth house energy for Virgo rising people. The areas that you can receive easy manifestation of blessing from the universe can come through agriculture. So investing in agriculture this week is a great idea. Backing something, going out on a winery tour and visiting your local farmers and, supporting their endeavors, going to a farmer's market, perhaps growing something in your own backyard as well. By spending time investing in agriculture in some way, you stand to be greatly blessed during this week when all this blessed energy is in your fourth house. So easy manifestations of blessing can come to you through some kind of involvement in agricultural endeavors, through being involved and connected to your hometown this week. So it's a great week to go back to your hometown where you come from, or your home suburb, and reconnect. There's blessing waiting for you there. There is expansion and growth and prosperity and abundance and delight and joy waiting for you in your home community where you grew up. So if you happen to be Virgo rising, take the opportunity to do that. Your own home life can be where easy manifestation of blessing occurs. In your own bricks and mortar home, whether it's rented, whether it's owned, it doesn't matter. But where you live can hold a great deal of energetic blessing for you in some capacity this week. Your family can, if you have good relationships with your family, that's where you can receive a great deal of energetic blessing. Might be financial blessing, might be a windfall, might be some sort of opportunity to forgive and restore a family relationship. Lots of ways that you can be blessed in the realm of family for Virgo rising this week. Real estate is seen by the fourth house energy, and so it's through property and property development and real estate that you can actually receive some sort of easy blessing. So if you happen to be Virgo rising, sun or moon, maybe you've been trying to sell a property. This is the week it may very well sell for you because of this energy of luck and good fortune and blessing in the fourth house connected to real estate. If you're looking at buying up a few properties and maybe you want to have a few Airbnbs on the go, then this is a week that's going to help you. It's going to give you the easy manifestation that you need to do those sorts of things. So get on it. Start looking in the online and in the papers and in the agents' windows and things, because this is a week where this can all be very blessed for you. Your garden can give you a great deal of blessing this week. Easy manifestation of blessing that comes from your own land, your own property. Maybe you harvest a big crop of zucchinis and it's like, whoa, this is just beyond what I ever thought it would be, or that sort of thing. Or you just get an abundance of flowers that you can pick and put all over the house, and it's lovely. It's a house where you can receive legacies that come to you from overseas in some way as well. So that can be where you receive an easy manifestation of money. Mining can bring you an easy manifestation of money, although most Australian people despise the mining game. Well, most people who know about Adani despise it. But you can make money from mining. I just want to encourage you to do it ethically if that's your thing. Try and find an ethical miner if there is such a thing. Elderly people can be a source of blessing and abundance and optimism and upliftment for you this week. Easy manifestation of blessing coming from elderly people. And your partner's profession is seen by the fourth house too. So it's through your partner's professional life that you might actually receive some kind of easy blessing from the universe this week. Maybe you get a bit of recognition through your partner's profession in some way, or they get a pay rise and therefore your circumstances are more blessed. These sorts of things, your partner's profession through the fourth house. So if you happen to be Libra rising, the easy manifestation of blessing is coming from the universe for you this week through third house things. So this can be through adopted brothers and sisters, and it's through, if you've got an adopted brother or sister, that might be where there is an easy manifestation of blessing that occurs in your life this week. Sorry, just adjusting my little fellow there. Just want to make sure that there's no glare and that people can see it clearly. It's all very strategic. If you're Libra rising, you might find that easy manifestation of blessing and abundance from the universe and prosperity and growth comes through travel agents. Travel agents are seen by the third house. So maybe you've been looking to travel and go overseas, or, explore a bit, and you've been getting so frustrated with trying to organize it yourself online, and you find just the perfect travel agent who's just in a blink of an eye got it all sorted and the best tour organized for you, and you're like, whoa, what a gift, what a blessing. So blessings can come through travel agents, or they find you the deal of a lifetime or something like that. Blessings and easy manifestation from the universe can come through actually taking a short trip as well. So, it's maybe going for a bike ride one afternoon might lead you to a point of absolute blessing that you never saw coming. Jupiter is luck, and Venus is leisure and prosperity. So taking a bike ride can really lead you to a point of prosperity. You might bump into someone on your bike ride, and they end up being your lover for life, or you might bump into someone who becomes a fabulous business partner. Libra rising rules relationships and rules business partners as well. So Libra, rules those things. So it's through taking a short trip that you might be blessed in some way. There's a couple of examples of how. So, take the opportunity to do a short trip, maybe a little drive in your car somewhere, or get away for a weekend, go for a 3-hour drive to a nearby beach resort or something like that. Cars and transportation can be a source of blessing from the universe for you. You might sell a car this week. You might take a car in to be fixed and find out that it's nowhere near as expensive as you thought. That doesn't often happen, but this is the week for it if it's ever going to happen. Venus, Jupiter, new moon as well in your third house to do with transportation and cars. So there can be blessing there. The children of friends can also be a source of great blessing for you. Easy manifestation of abundance and gifts from the universe this week. So the children of your friends in some way, they might give you an opportunity. You might be, let's say the children of one of your friends is a school teacher, and they ask you in to come and share all about what you did when you fought in the Vietnam War or something, or you are given an opportunity to really expand your life and bless your life in some way through the children of your friends. Maybe the children of your friends has a holiday house down some fabulous place, and you take that short trip, 3 hours down to Torquay, and you go to your friend, the child of your friend's holiday house, and have a fabulous weekend away. Boom, third house all the way. You can also really receive some sort of blessing and abundance from the universe this week through perhaps a ghost writer, somebody who's writing under a pseudonym, or being a ghost writer might be a source of blessing for you in some way this week. Or through letters that you've written to people, emails that you've written to people can come back to you as a source of blessing and easy manifestation. So maybe you wrote a letter to somebody a couple of months ago, and it's this week that you get the results of that letter that they're fully blessed for you in some way. Your neighbors are a source of blessing this week and abundance for you in some capacity this week. Also, this is the house of your partner's religious beliefs or any overseas trips that your partner will take. And it's through those things as well that you, as Libra rising people, might see some sort of easy manifestation of blessing and abundance unfold in your life too. So pretty exciting for you guys. There's just so many different possible sources of blessing and abundance that can come to you with this energy playing out in your third house. Scorpio rising people. Okay, if you Scorpio rising, well, obviously the energy of Sagittarius as a Scorpio rising person is falling in your second house over there. And this means that, but it's through financial matters that you can receive easy manifestation and blessing from the universe. So in having a good budget, in setting up a good budget, if you want to do that after Mercury turns direct on the 21st, setting up a new budget can be very beneficial and can really bring a lot of windfalls and blessing and abundance into your life if you are Scorpio rising. So if you haven't thought about reviewing your budget, I'd encourage you to do so. It's actually really, really good time for setting that up. And that's the kind of financial reward and abundance that can flow on over many months, not just in the weeks ahead, but over many months, even many years, by setting up a really good budget. Scorpio rising people can receive some sort of easy blessing and abundance next week from the bank. So it might be a windfall from the bank. Maybe the bank discovers, oh my God, you've been putting money into XYZ account. It's not meant to have gone there. Here's $10,000 that you've, misappropriated. We've misappropriated or something. And so it's through the bank that you receive some sort of sudden windfall that you didn't know you had or something. That can happen this week if you're Scorpio rising. Your earning capacity is seen by the second house, and there can be blessing there, abundance, growth, and some sort of windfall. You might get a financial promotion. If not like a recognition or social status promotion, you might get an increase in your wages or something. That can happen this week as a result of this blessed energy in your second house. The second house is also the children of our employers. So it's through the children of our employers that we can potentially receive blessing if we are Scorpio rising. I want to point out this is exactly how J.K. Rowling came to notoriety. Now, it wasn't that her the head of the publishing company was not her employer just yet, or her boss, or whatever you want to call it, or her authority figure that she had to go through, but it was through his child who read Harry Potter, and this publishing exec's child read Harry Potter and said, "Dad, you've got to publish this book. This book is the bee's knees." Probably didn't say that. That's very daggy, and a child would certainly not use daggy terminology like that. But that's how J.K. Rowling got her book accepted after sending it to publisher after publisher for eons and not getting anywhere. It was through the child of the publisher that she got her big break, and Harry Potter became the worldwide phenomenon that it is. And this is what can happen to you guys. It's through the child of your employer, or your potential employer, even in the case of J.K. Rowling. It's through the children that you can actually receive an opportunity, an easy manifestation of abundance and blessing that can come your way. So look out for that. That's actually kind of cool. Your voice can also be a source of abundance and blessing and prosperity and sudden windfalls this week. You might get a chance to host your own community radio show of some sort, or do some sort of advertising voiceover or something. You can use your voice, or singing. You might get a singing opportunity if you love to sing and use your voice. Through stockbrokers as well, you can actually receive some sort of easy manifestation from the universe. That can be a blessing. Through spending money is seen by the second house. So in spending your money, you might receive some sort of ultimate blessing, some sort of growth in your life, and gift from the universe. Let's say you go and buy the latest, Mac foundation or something, and you purchase it. It's always the one you buy it every time, and you go buy it because you need more, and they say, boom, hey, we've got a special going, you get 5 lipsticks when you buy this foundation this week. And you're like, hey, blessing, thank you universe for this beautiful gift. So these sorts of things, large scale, small scale, that's how it can play out. And giving and receiving. So I want to encourage you, if you're Scorpio rising, look for ways you can give, because it's in giving this week that you can receive blessing from the universe. So look for ways that you can support others, that you can give to worthy causes, that you can be a bit of a philanthropist, if you like, in a small scale way. This is not the house of philanthropy, but it is in a house that has to do with spending money, and it's in giving that we receive. So this week, guys, if you're Scorpio rising, look for ways to be generous, because Sagittarius is a generous sign. And in the second house, if we are generous with our money, if we give with what we have, then we will receive when we're Scorpio rising. That's how you generate money at any time, but especially for next week when there's so much energy in your second house. So look for ways to give, and you will receive back from the universe in abundance. Okay, Scorpio to Sagittarius. Oh, you guys have it all going on this week. Sagittarius rising, the energy is in your first house of you, who you are, how you sojourn through life and journey through life. It's all coming your way. So for you guys, this indicates this week the birth of something new in your life, the beginning of something. The first house is where we initiate things. And here you have the planet of abundance and prosperity meeting with the planet of luxury and leisure and money, and a new moon occurring in your sign. So you guys really can birth something exceptional this week, something new that can start, that's going to bless you for many, many, many months ahead. If you've been thinking of starting a new project, or making some sort of change in your life, then next week's the time to start it, to do it, really. You're going to be blessed and receive some sort of easy manifestation from the universe as a result of your own actions, because this is the house of the actions that you take, that you instigate. So, like I said, if you want to move, or if you want to start a new job or a new business venture or a new project, or there's something that you want to begin, next week is the week for Sagittarius rising people to do so, because your actions are going to be blessed next week. Everything you undertake, everything you do, sort of, maybe you've been checking out a girl or a guy in your office, and it's through taking action next week that it can turn into something quite exceptional, quite lovely. And next week you've got all the romantic energy of the universe and of Mars in Scorpio on your side to help achieve that outcome. But also any realm of life, any part of your journey through life, where you live, what you eat, who you interact with, what your job is, these sorts of realms, any realm that affects your journey of life is going to be blessed by you taking action next week. That's where the easy manifestation comes, through taking action. You get easy manifestation next week with all this beautiful energy of good attitude. Like, this is something that comes easily for Sagittarius rising people anyway, but having good attitude, having good disposition. This is you guys. You are the ultimate buoyant ones in the horoscope, and it's through that you can receive blessing, through your buoyant personality. So, let's say you've been looking for a job and you go for an interview. Well, because you're Sagittarius rising next week, it's through your buoyancy, your upbeatness, your happiness that you can achieve blessing and get the job next week. Or, it's recognition for your personality, recognition for your looks can come as a blessing from the universe for you next week as well. The first house is the house of the eyes. So it's, you might get some sort of blessing that comes through your vision, through your eyes. Maybe you've got really stunning eyes and somebody asks you to be a makeup model on their YouTube channel because they want to do some eye makeup on you because you have such beautiful eyes. So there's this blessing and opportunity that can come to you, and you start a whole new career as an eye model in YouTube makeup circles or something like that. You can receive some sort of easy blessing from long journeys or beliefs of your children in this house. This is the house seen by the long journeys of your children or the beliefs of your children. So maybe if you've got older children, they've been off traveling all over the world, and next week they come home and they bring you like some gorgeous religious artifact from Incan America or something like that. Not that I'm into taking artifacts out of their own country, but let's say that's what happens. This is the house of beliefs and religion of the children and the long journeys of the children. They bring you home this glorious gift, and it's really special, and you put it up on the mantelpiece, and it's pride of place. So some sort of beautiful blessing, some sort of lovely gift or something that comes from your children's travels overseas. Or maybe you've had a son who's been working in London for years, and he's decided he's coming home because he's not real keen on Brexit, and he's coming home to Australia. And he comes home, and when he does, he just brings so much blessing back into your life because he's not around the other side of the world, and you're connected again, and you see more of each other, and it's just a blessing to have him home. So easy blessing through as a result of your children's long journeys or their beliefs and spiritual viewpoints. It's a house of looking out for you, taking care of you, surviving and thriving. And if you do that this week, that is how you will achieve an energy of blessing and support from the universe. So don't be afraid to honor yourself. Sagittarius is quite it's not as charitable as some other signs, but it does have an energy of giving about it and charity about it because it is ruled by the great benefic Jupiter. But this is the week of focusing on you and your needs, what you enjoy, what pleasures you get out of life, what makes your body feel delightful, what makes you happy. So take the opportunity this week, Sagittarius rising people, to do that, to indulge in what you need. And that's where blessing can ultimately come for you guys, through honoring the self, taking action for yourself, and focusing on you. So that's for Saggy rising people. And if we happen to be Capricorn rising, well, stay very good. Capricorn rising people sees this energy of blessing and easy manifestation from the universe coming to us through the capacity to take a break. So you might find, because Sagittarius is Capricorn's 12th house, that taking a holiday is available to you, and you'll be blessed from that. There'll be an easy manifestation of being able to take a holiday. So, your boss might come and say, hey, you've got way too much overtime. I want you to take next week off. And you're like, what? He said, no, take next week off. And you're like, great. So you get easy manifestation of a break, of a holiday, of an escape. This is the house of large animals, not domestic animals like the 6th house. The 12th house is actually the house of large animals. So in some way you might be blessed through large animals. Maybe you take that week's holiday and you go on a safari through Africa and you see all sorts of amazing giraffes and hippopotamuses and elephants and things. And it's just fantastic. You might get blessing from the universe through large animals or something, something of that nature. It doesn't even have to be sort of wild animals either, large cow or a horse or something like that. Don't ask me how that might manifest, but that is a potential for you guys. You can also, if you're Capricorn rising, receive a lot of easy manifestation of blessing from secret things, secret silent business deals. Any confidential matters are seen from the 12th house as well. Anything that you keep very private, very secret, and keep to yourself. So there might be some affair of some sort, that not a romantic affair, but some sort of matter that comes up in your life next week that you'll keep to yourself. You'll keep it very private and quiet, and in some way it's going to bless you. In some way it's going to really transform and change your life in a good, karmically beneficial way. This is with this glorious energy in the 12th house. It's a house of conspiracies, actually. So there might be some sort of conspiracy going on. You might benefit from it if you're Capricorn rising. Who knows how that might play out? My mind's not going to that realm. I can't give you a scenario. Maybe you might know better than I what might work there. You can also receive a great deal of benefit, opportunity, abundance, and blessing easily coming from the universe with regard to having properties in foreign countries. It's also connected to oils, the 12th house. So, maybe you've started a new business doing those essential oil things. I know they're very popular with viewers of this channel. And you might have started a business doing that, and the blessing can really start to unfold because 12th house rules oils. So it's through that you might start to see blessing from the universe coming your way if you're Capricorn rising. You can also see blessing coming your way in your sleep. Maybe you've made a few investments over the years, and while you're sleeping next week, they just go crazy overnight, and you wake up and it's like, whoa, time to sell those stocks. So it's while you're sleeping that you can see benefits and blessings and abundance come flooding into your life. So make sure you check those stocks every morning after you've had a good night's sleep. Also, 12th house is karma. 12th house rules our past life karma, and with all this good energy in your 12th house for Capricorn rising people, good karma is due to come your way this next week. From this. So whatever you've done in the past of this life, whatever good deeds you've done, whatever support and love you've shown and given to yourself and to others, it can come back to you in a beautiful way next week. Also from past lives as well. You may not realize that's what's going on, but for you Cappy rising people, that is highly likely to unfold for you. You might not even know it. Some karmic person enters your life, changes your world. Some sort of scenario unfolds, and it's actually a repeat of some beautiful blessing that you gave to someone else in a past incarnation. It's coming back to you. So those sorts of things can happen. Lots of loveliness there. All right, getting towards the end now, my darling Aquarius rising people. This is putting the energy of Sagittarius in your 11th house, which you're very correlated to as Aquarius rising people. So the easy manifestation of blessing that is represented by everything that's unfolding in Sagittarius, which I talked about in the intro to this video. The easy manifestation of blessing can come to you guys through your associates, people that you work with, and the people that you interact with in a very friendly way. Your friends, your friendships, but also your social circles. There are people who aren't maybe your friends, but they're part of your social network, your social group. clubs, organizations. You can receive blessing from these. You might even receive, an elevation to some sort of, treasurer of something, treasurer of some club, treasurer of some society, treasurer of some group. Your ambitions and your aspirations stand now to be rocket fuel injected. You might find that your ambitions, your dreams, your hopes, your goals, they just really take off now. What have you been longing for? What have you been dreaming of? What have you been aspiring towards? Next week is a week where the universe can say, hey, boom, have what you need to make it work. And away you go. The blessing comes from the universe. Easy manifestation of dreams and goals and ambitions that can come to you next week. This house is actually also, now I want to read this to make sure I get it the right way round. It's the house of the friends of your grandfather, if you are a woman listening to this report, or the friends of your grandmother, if you're a man. And it's through these people that you can receive blessing this week. The friends of your grandfather, if you're a woman, the friends of your grandmother, if you're a man. So check those people out. How are they doing? Go visit, your grandma's best friend or something. And how you going? And do you want to go for a coffee, if you know them well? Hang out with them. Spend time with them, because it's through them that you're going to have the potential to be greatly blessed this week in some way. The universe is aligning to bring that energy, funnel it into those people for you. So reach out to your grandparents' friends, if you're an Aquarius rising, and see what comes of that. You might be very surprised at the gifts and the blessings that come from the universe, from those people, the kindness, the love, the consideration, the support that comes to you through the friends of your grandparents. Also, it's sons and daughters-in-law generally can be seen through this placement as well. So, spend a bit of time with your sons and daughters-in-law if you'd like. The Parliament is also seen from this house, the 11th house. So there might be a decision made by Parliament that beneficially affects you in some way. That would be a novelty, wouldn't it? But that's what can occur this week. This is a week of great energy for you guys in the 11th house, and the 11th house is connected to Parliament. So check out what they're talking about in Parliament this week. Find out and sort of pay attention, because you might be very surprised at how beneficial something unfolds for you because of that. This is, would you believe it, it's also the house that has to do with the the children of your enemies. Now, I'm a big fan of Modern Family. I watch it all the time. And I forget which season it is, but there's a lot of interactions between Jay and his arch rival at Closets. And there's one scene where the two grandchildren of these two arch rivals, they're going out and they're seeing each other. And Jay gets, I'm probably going very convoluted here, but Jay gets his grandson to do a few little sneaky things to his arch rival. I don't know where I'm even going with this, but through the children of your enemies, there can be blessing. That doesn't even correlate to the illustration I was giving you. But anyhow, children of your enemies can actually bring blessing to you in some way. Maybe they put a dead fish in your closet and you're Jay Pritchett or something, and they do something for you and you get back at your enemy. But the children of your enemies are seen by the 11th house. So in some way, they can provide a source of blessing for you. Easy manifestation of the energy of Jupiter, Venus, and the new moon coming through the children of your enemies. Watch out for that one. It's quite fascinating to observe if that unfolds for you. Do write a comment below and let me know if that's what happens for you. I'd be fascinated to hear how that might play out. But it is a house of progressive ideas, inventions, innovations, and it's through those things that you might receive some sort of opportunity from the universe, blessing, abundance, prosperity from the universe through some sort of new innovation, new idea, new invention that you can receive gifts from. So if you're Aquarius rising, that's what we're looking at. Finally, the ever patient and very sexy, I might add, Pisces rising people. You guys have this energy falling in the 10th house. Now, so many people stand to be blessed by this week, next week, with this lovely unfolding of glorious energy. Pisces is no exception. This is the house of career, popularity, fame, these sorts of things, notoriety, social status. And it's in these realms that you can really be blessed this year. So you can receive gifts from the universe that bless you, like easy manifestation of achievements, easy manifestation of business successes, projects that you're running or videos that you're producing for YouTube or something. Like successes can come your way in business if you're Pisces rising as a result of this energy, particularly for you guys because Jupiter is your ruling planet in the 10th house of social status. So you can receive blessings from your bosses. They can be a source of easy manifestation of blessing in your life. Your social status can rise as a result of what's happening next week. Fame can come to you as a result of this beautiful new moon and Venus conjunct Jupiter energy. Money from foreign countries is seen by the 10th house, so you can receive money from foreign countries as well next week. So maybe you have clients in foreign countries, or maybe you have investments or something going on in foreign countries, and it's through that you can receive some sort of material, tangible gifts and blessings from the universe. The rewards of your karma are seen from the 10th house as well. So if you have sown beauty and kindness and goodness, support and love to people, compassion to people, which is highly likely when you're Piscean, then you will receive beautiful karmic rewards this week when this energy of goodness and blessing and prosperity and abundance unfolds in your life. It's a week of great universal energy gifts to you. For karma, the rewards of karma, you can receive blessing from the universe through government officials. So there might be some sort of, government employee who grants you a break. Maybe you're going for a town planning permit or something, and you've been battling along for months, but finally you get a town planner who actually knows what they're doing and has your best interests at heart, and boom, away you go, and it's all working. Speaking from experience there. The properties of your partner are also seen from the 10th house. So maybe the property of your marriage partner is something that can bring you blessing and abundance next week. Maybe your partner receives some sort of gift or inheritance or some sort of land or something, and you by association are benefited as well. The properties, particularly land, perhaps not so much money actually, but particularly land and real estate owned by your partner can bring you blessing next week as well. It's a house where you can receive popularity and praise. So with all this good energy, you will likely receive good responses and good, no criticism, in other words, sort of blessing, praise, honors, that sort of thing. Promotions are possible next week for you guys, for Pisces rising people. And it's also a house connected to money from religion or faith. So if you're a spiritual person, I don't quite know how this might play out, but it is connected to money from religion or faith. You might receive some sort of money. Maybe you're wanting to run a yoga retreat or something like that, and you have been trying to put it together and there's just not the funds to run this yoga retreat, and then some philanthropist in your local church or your local spiritual group or whatever says, hey, here you go. Do it, just do it, because I love what you're doing, I love your idea. So through that spiritual connection, maybe you might receive some funds that's a blessing, that's a gift from the universe that you hadn't expected, and it's part of this gorgeous energy of Jupiter conjunct Venus and the new moon in Sagittarius. So what a week we're looking at here. I can't wait to see it unfold and see what happens and see how it all plays out. Do leave some comments. Let me know what happens for you and how it aligns with what we've looked at here today. I'd like to close with a prayer before I sign off, and I'll just begin. Energy of love in the universe. What a glorious week we're looking forward to. May our hearts be open and full of gratitude and looking for the beauty and the goodness and the blessings in every little thing in our lives, in every small area. May we see the shining light of love, the shining light of kindness, goodness, compassion. And may we bring that shining light to other people, because in giving we receive. May we bring that light of goodness and support and love to other people so that we can be part of this beautiful Jupiterian Venus and new moon in Sagittarius energy to others, and a shining light in other people's lives. Thank you for the opportunity to reflect your love in this world. And so it is. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's Astro Weather Report. I will have another extensive look at the skies for you next week.